Ladies and gentlemen, I am Paul, U.S. Army combat veteran, and today we are going to be checking out the Ukrainian National Guard taking out a Russian Ka-52 Alligator helicopter. And we get it from two angles because everything in this conflict is being watched by drones and someone's iPhone. Let's get into it, and we're going to be breaking down just what is happening with Russian control over the air, or lack thereof.
Далеко, да?
Okay, you could hear right at the beginning that they had the tone indicating a lock, right, as the weapon is seeking out a heat signature, and then finally giving the tone indicating that it has found it, which is pretty impressive. You can see just how far away this Ka-52 is. You can see it. It is like right there at the bottom of your screens, and this is already en route. This is also impressive. That's an impressive range for a man-portable device. This is something you can strap onto a backpack, but it still carries enough fuel to not just get it to the target, but to actually guide itself there, right? Impressive, an impressive amount of miniaturization, right? Because you have to think it's a computer, it's a guidance system, it's got ailerons or something to steer it, and then it has enough fuel to get to the target, and then finally, it has enough explosive to blow up the target, all in a tube that's only like, what, 3 feet long? Okay, so here we have a drone observing the flight, and as we've seen, Russian helicopters seem to go in flights of 2. All right, so there's the hit. It looks like everybody in the comments is dunking on him like, oh, you discharge your flares after the hit. It almost looks like the flares were discharged by the damage. The damage to the tail may have actually ignited the flares, causing them to deploy. You can see that, see there, you can see something else has like discharged and hit the ground. Looks like the pilot is trying to maintain control of the aircraft. You can see his wingman. For a second there, you saw his wingman. Let's back it up. Right, there's the wingman. And yeah, they're obviously pretty stoked. They can tell they've gotten a hit. And the helicopter looks like the pilot is deciding to put down in this field here. He knows that his tail rotor's out and he's going to lose control of the bird pretty shortly. Looks like he has a hard landing, but maybe one he walked away from. What I think is really significant here is that we need to remember that on these sort of conflicts, like taking out a pilot is good, but taking out the helicopter is better, right? You spend maybe $1 million, $2 million recruiting and training a pilot, putting them through school, but you're going to spend probably what, 25, 30 million on an attack helicopter. And because of Russia's sanctions, in some ways, right, the longer the sanctions regime is in place, the more loopholes and workarounds Russia has time to find. But the problem is that helicopters and other specialty military equipment demand very, very precise, very, very hard to get materials. So much so that even some of the base materials, special metal alloys and special types of plastic and ceramic, the US and Europe actually tracks the import and export of just those specialty materials and watches carefully that it knows exactly why they are leaving the country. And to what end? Again, if you order certain types of rotors, you might say, oh, okay, this is a major helicopter manufacturer. We know that it about lines up with their predicted output. Okay, well, we have no problem releasing these special materials or giving a special permission to sell them off. But if you're someone like Russia, you may not be able to get high-end avionics. You may not be able to get specialty rotor blades that they need to replace this Ka-52. So there may not be these weapons on the battlefield, which is, of course, bad news for Russia because it needs control of the skies in order to blunt Ukrainian offensives. More and more, we've been seeing Ukrainian armor forces, and the antidote to armor crossing over an open terrain is, of course, rotary wing aircraft. They can hang back. They can really do a number on armored forces. And But of course, to do that, you need control of the skies. And Russia has yet to be able to do that. And the more their helicopters are taken out, combined with the fact that Ukrainian forces are growing in equipment and then ability to use that equipment. So the tide certainly appears to be turning thanks to this sort of incident right here. Again, helicopters out of commission. You can see, yep, it looks like it has landed, and that pilot is probably getting out of that helicopter as fast as possible in case something starts to cook off, right? You can see there the smoke from the hard landing still coming up. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of it. And as always, if you want, you know that YouTube loves to censor my comments, it loves to censor. Perhaps they love to do that too. YouTube has really cracked down on combat footage. And so my breakdowns, a lot of them have gotten demonetized. So many of my uncensored combat videos are on the Patreon. I try to do a batch of 5 or 6 breakdowns every 2 weeks or so. Thanks, of course, to my Lieutenant tier patrons. The link is in the description. I'll see you guys later.